Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, good afternoon. Cecilia, you have such a happy face, Cecilia.
I'm tired.
I think everybody is, honey. Everybody is tired. We have a lot of work, right? Can you listen to me?
Yes, Miss.
Yeah.
Okay, hello, Hugo. Good afternoon. Daida, you changed already. Good. Okay, Valeria is around or no? Not even.
Rolando is here again.
Valeria. Rolando is here again. We have a lot of people coming in from other grades, right?
Yes.
Valeria, you are here. Hello, Valeria. Valeria, or she's asleep.
Big silence.
Big silence, yes. Definitely. Hello, Posas. You have your hairstyle going on again.
Hello, Miss.
Okay, so today, guys, we're going to review. You have a what?
We have a lot of people that collapse.
Yes, that are coming from other sections, right? Okay, so today, guys, in science, we're going to review, right? Since next class, I think is on Thursday, if I'm correct. Okay, we'll be working on the home assignment, right? Now, for science, guys, we have two topics that we saw in class. The first is the one of the biomes, of the different biomes that we find in Earth, and we have the topic of the human impact on the environment. Okay? Yeah. Those are the two topics that are gonna appear in your home assignment. Okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do is that we're going to watch a video about the biomes. Okay, now
Miss.
Pause the video. Let me just finish explaining, Jose Posas. Okay, we're gonna pause the video to discuss what are the characteristics of each biome. Yes? Tell me, Posas.
On Thursday, we're gonna do the home assignment, right?
Yes, we are gonna work on the home assignment. Yes.
Me.
Okay, tell me.
But that we're going to do it all together, like this, discussing the answers, or in class but alone.
No, we're gonna work on it all together, discussing the answers and the instructions, Taira. Okay.
Okay.
You guys have the complete answers of.
We're gonna do it on the class or before the class, and then we're gonna discuss it.
Well, I think it would be a good idea if you do it before, so that you have already the answers, or if you wanna copy the answers that we discuss in class, and it's fine by me. Okay, as long as you have the correct answers. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Okay. No questions until here.
No
No questions. Very good. Okay, so we're gonna begin with the video of the biomes. Let's remember, how many biomes do we have, guys?
A lot. Like 6.
Yeah, we have a lot. Okay, we have 6 biomes in total. What are the types of biomes we have?
Tundra, desert, rainforest.
Good. We always forget one. What is the one that we forget always? The one in which animals have to migrate.
The rainforest.
The
Rainforest.
No, the ones that in which animals
Boreal.
The temperate?
Boreal forest.
No, the temperate deciduous forest. That is the one we always forget. The one in which animals have to hibernate or migrate because of the changing temperatures, right? So let me share the video because I couldn't find it, but I have it here now. Let's see. Oh, this is the other one. Let me see. Is that here we have a problem with YouTube, guys, and the connection has been failing a lot. 1 minute. Let me, Ms. Arrego has to be an expert in Zoom, I see. Okay, let me see if we can get it from here.
Louis soccer full movie.
Hmm?
Louis soccer full movie.
Soccer full movie. I have no idea, honey.
Hold.
Are you able to hear?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna share sound.
You can see it.
Yes.
Every plant and animal on Earth depends on other living organisms to survive. How these living things interact with the sun, air, water, and each other is called an ecosystem. Inside an ecosystem, the organisms work together to establish a balance that allows all of its members to thrive. When we talk about biomes, we mean a large group of similar ecosystems. All areas in a biome have similar plants, animals, and weather. There are many different biomes on planet Earth, both on land and in the water. Let's explore some of the many biomes on planet Earth. First, let's visit the marine biome. The marine biome is made mostly of the saltwater oceans and is the largest biome on Earth. It covers about 70% of the Earth's surface and is home to more than 230,000 known species. Animals that live in the marine biome include fish, sharks, octopus, seahorses, dolphins, manatees, seals, and whales, among many others. The blue whale, believed to be the largest animal that has ever lived on the Earth, lives in the marine biome. Thousands of plant species live in the ocean too. Ocean plants are extremely important because they provide more than half of the oxygen on Earth. That's more than every forest in the world. Algae, kelp, seaweed, and even tiny phytoplankton all live and grow in the ocean. There are many separate biomes within the ocean, based on changes to the temperature, nutrients, and amount of sunlight in the water. One special type of marine biome is a coral reef. Coral reefs are only small areas in the ocean, but about 25% of known marine species live there. They are built up over thousands of years by tiny animals called polyps. The polyps have a limestone skeleton, and as one generation of polyps die, the next generation grows on top of them, making the coral reef gradually bigger and bigger. Polyps depend on energy from algae that lives inside of them to survive. Since algae is a plant, they need sunlight to create food. That is why coral reefs are only found in warm, sunny water. Reefs provide food and shelter for many species, but they are vulnerable to destruction by pollution and overfishing by humans. The last type of aquatic biome we will visit is the freshwater biome. Unlike the marine biome, which is filled with salt water, freshwater biomes are filled with water that has very low levels of salt. For the most part, animals that can survive in saltwater cannot survive in freshwater, and animals that can survive in freshwater cannot survive in saltwater. Animals that live in or around freshwater biomes include fish, frogs, alligators, snakes, otters, turtles, and beavers. There are three main types of freshwater biomes. They are ponds and lakes, which have still water, streams and rivers, which have moving water, and wetlands, which are a combination of land and water. Let's move on to land biomes. First, we're going to visit the polar regions. The polar ice caps in the Arctic and Antarctic are harsh places to live. Plants cannot grow on the ice, so most life in this biome is animal. By living at the edges of the ice caps, the animals that survive there are able to find food in the ocean. Fish mostly, or smaller animals. The South Pole is mostly populated by penguins. Seabirds like albatrosses, petrels, and gulls may also nest or visit there, and whales and seals thrive in the waters off the coast. At the North Pole, you might find polar bears, as well as water-going mammals like seals, walruses, and whales. Their thick layers of fur or fat help to insulate them against the freezing cold. South of the Arctic lies the tundra. The tundra is cold, an average of only 18 degrees Fahrenheit or negative.
Jonathan, mute your microphone, please.
7 degrees Celsius. There are only 2 seasons here, a long dark winter and a short summer. Because it is so close to the North Pole, during the winter the nights become longer and longer until the sun doesn't rise at all. The situation is reversed in the summer. Days become longer until the sun stays up all day and all night. Beneath a thin layer of topsoil, the ground is permanently frozen, even during the summer, when temperatures may reach 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. This is called permafrost. There are few nutrients here to sustain plants or animals. There are no trees. The growing season is too short. Plant life in the tundra consists of moss and grasses, or small shrubs. There are still animals to be found in the tundra. Arctic foxes and hares, snowy owls, muskox, and caribou are just some of the animals that live there. Still farther south lie the forests. At colder latitudes, forests are dominated by evergreen trees. By keeping their needles all year round, they are able to make the most of the weaker sunlight. Farther south, the pine trees mix with broadleaf trees that drop their leaves when the weather turns cold. Forests grow where it is not too hot and not too cold, places with lots of nutrients and water available. As a result, a wide variety of plants and animals make forests their home. Moose, deer, bears, wolves, foxes, rabbits, and squirrels, as well as many, many kinds of birds and reptiles make their homes in forested biomes. Another type of biome is grassland and savanna. Grasslands are wide open land with low-growing plants like grass and flowers. There is not enough rain in a grassland to support tall trees, but too much water to be a desert. A savanna is very similar to a grassland, but it may also have scattered trees. Many different types of grasses grow on grasslands and savannas, and many large herbivores live there. Often, huge herds of grazing animals travel the grasslands together, seeking safety in numbers from the predators that hunt them. Although there are not many places for large animals to hide in the grass, there is plenty of cover for small animals like mice, snakes, rabbits, and birds. hotter climates, we find the tropical rainforest. Rainforests are forests that get a lot of rain, and tropical rainforests are very humid and warm. Situated close to the equator, they stay warm year-round. Tropical rainforests have the greatest biodiversity, that is, the greatest number of plant and animal species of any land biome in the world. Trees in the rainforest usually grow to at least 100 feet or 30 meters in height, and from the highest part of the canopy to the forest floor, tropical rainforests are teeming with life. Some rainforest animals never touch the ground for their entire lives. Small animals like monkeys, birds, snakes, frogs, and lizards are common in the rainforest. Sloths, monkeys, bats, anteaters, jaguars, and thousands upon thousands of insects live there too. The rainforest is an important producer of oxygen for the world, as well as a home for about half of all the world's plant and animal species. Many new medicines have been found because of research on plants that grow there. Tropical rainforests are so large and dense that there are believed to be many unknown plants and animal species still to be discovered there. But rainforests are threatened with destruction as humans cut them down for wood and farmland. The last biome we will visit today is the desert. Deserts are dry. Some are hot and some are cold. But when most people think of deserts, they think of hot places. Deserts in warm places may get very hot during the day, but because they are so dry, they are not able to hold in the heat from the sun, and so they may drop to below freezing at night. Despite the harsh conditions, many plants and animals have learned how to survive in the desert. Cactus are a very famous kind of desert plant, but grasses, shrubs, and some kinds of small trees can grow there too. Many kinds of desert plants, not just cactus, have some kind of thorns or sharp spines to help protect them from hungry animals. Many types of reptiles live in the desert: snakes, lizards, and tortoises. Birds like owls and hawks, and mammals like camels, foxes, and desert hares have all discovered ways to survive and thrive in the desert too. I hope you enjoyed learning about biomes of the world today. Goodbye till next time.
Okay, so if you see guys throughout this video, it gives
And
a tour
each other.
Well, it talks about
And weather.
one major ecosystem. What is
The ocean.
The
ocean.
The ocean, very good. It talks about marine ecosystem, right? It tells us that how much part of the earth is covered by oceans.
97%.
87%, very good. Actually, 87% of the world is saltwater, right? Saltwater ecosystems, very good. Now, can you give me examples of the animals that live in the ocean?
Sharks, fish,
What else?
seahorses.
Seahorses, sea stars, very good. What else? Fish, all kinds of fish, right? Stop whistling, please. Alison? Someone is whistling there. Dolphins, very good. Turtles, very good. Okay, and it's also the home for plants, guys, for lots of different types of plants. Look, it gives us, we have algae. What else do we have? We have kelp, which is also eaten by the animals. And we have, what else do we have? Look, it tells you algae.
Ocean plants are extremely important because they provide more than half of the oxygen on Earth.
And they produce oxygen, look.
That's more than every forest in the world. Algae, kelp, seaweed.
Look, algae, it says here algae, kelp, and seaweed. All of the plants that are found here in the ocean, guys, are the major sources of oxygen as well. So not only the trees that are on Earth are sources of oxygen, also the kelp and the algae that we find in oceans are sources of oxygen. So here, guys, in this video, it basically gives us a tour after talking about the oceans, right? It gives us a tour beginning in where? Does it begin close to the equator or does it begin close to the poles? Oh, and before we forget, okay, the other water ecosystem is that of the freshwater. Okay, what are the 3 types of freshwater ecosystems that we have? This is a what? What is this?
A river.
Okay, so we have the river, okay,
Lakes.
which is the source, lakes, and
The ocean.
and what
The
else?
ocean.
No, the ocean is the saltwater ecosystem. We're talking about freshwater.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so we have 3 types. We have the river, which is made of moving water. Okay, we have the river, we have ponds, which are still, that means that they do not. And also we have bogs, okay, something that we have in Gracias a Dios here in Honduras. These are called bogs or wetlands, okay, and this is a mixture of moving and still water, okay. So those are the 3 types of freshwater ecosystems. Now, important.
Me,
Tell me.
you have going to Lago de Yohoa.
Yes, I have.
And when you are like almost how we say llegar, miss?
When you're arriving.
When you're arriving to there, you look like kind of grass and
actually close to
inside
the
lake. That is the grassland.
Yes, that is considered to be a bog or wetland because you can see that there are plants on top of the water. You have seen, right, in Lago de Yohoa that whenever you get into the canoe, you're able to see the plants that are sitting on top of the water. That is also considered a bog. Very good example, Hugo. That is another example for wetland, okay? Now, finally, when it starts talking about the biomes in the earth, it begins where? In the Arctic, guys, close to the pole. Okay, now what kinds of ecosystems we have there or biomes? What biomes do we have there? We have the tundra and we have the boreal forest, right? Now, which kind of animals live in the tundra?
Weasels.
What else? The seals, right? Well, actually, they live inside the water. The ones that live on Earth are what?
Penguins.
Penguins, very good. What else?
Polar
bears, very good. Penguins, very good. And inside the ocean, we have whales and seals, right?
Miss?
And dolphins.
Yeah.
Folks,
Huh?
and fox, miss,
And what?
papas,
Orcas.
And killer whales. Those are called killer whales. Okay.
Miss, how do penguins resist the cold?
Because
The cold water.
is special for that.
They have, it says that all of the animals that live there on the tundra, they have thick skins and thick layers of how do you say it? Thick layers of fat on top of them that help them resist the extreme temperatures of those areas. Look, if we look also this animal that is here, I forgot its name. See this here? Okay, this animal are, see
seals, miss, they are seals.
yes,
That
they're
is a man. Is a man.
It is a what?
Manatee.
No, a manatee, no, honey. Manatees are different.
The lion.
They are.
And what
called-
is that? What is that?
It's a type of, oh gosh, I forgot its name right now. But it's a really big type of seal that if you notice, it's not that it's fat. It means that what it's doing is that it has a really thick skin that protects him from the climate. Now, another thing that it is important for us to highlight about tundra climates is the permafrost, as it was talking in the video. What is a permafrost? It is the soil that is completely frozen. And it says that it doesn't matter if it's summer or winter, the soil still It's always frozen. Okay, it means that we will never see, for example, a big tree here. Okay, we will always see that these areas are completely barren, just completely covered with ice. Okay, and the animals that live there have to hunt for food. Okay,
Miss,
tell me.
I looked for that animal in Google and it is a morsa.
A walrus.
Not a marine lion.
But how do we say that in English?
I don't know. I'm gonna look for it. In the Google Translate.
Walrus.
Walrus. Thank you. Walrus. Walrus. Yes, it's called the walrus. Very good. And also, okay, and moving on, we are now looking at boreal forests, right? Boreal forests. Which animals live there? This is one example of an animal that lives there, the caribou. Okay, and all those, and here we can see more vegetation. Look, guys, in these types of areas, although it is very cold still. Okay, look there, we have the permafrost. Foxes live there, right? And what do? They hibernate. I'm sorry, on the temperate forest.
Please, how do you say caribou in Spanish?
I'll say.
Caribou. It's
okay.
Not the alce.
No, that is
a moose, right?
Those are, yeah, moose or reindeers, yeah. Okay, then we continue moving on. Here we have the temperate boreal forests. I'm sorry, the temperate deciduous forest. And here we see moose. Look, the one that you were talking about. And here we already have trees and vegetation. And the characteristic of these forests are that they drop the leaves once they change the season. Okay, that is a characteristic. Now, moving further on, okay, we have, we can find the grasslands. Look, grasslands and savannas. Now, the difference, if you say, Miss Aurelio, but what is the difference between a grassland and a savanna? Well, in the grassland, you will rarely find a tree, a tall tree. You only find grasses and shrubs. And in the savanna, you have trees, although they are scattered around. Animals live in the savanna, the biggest animals on earth. Tell me, Posas.
The savanna is like a place, right?
The savanna is in Africa.
Yes, it is found in Africa, yes. Okay. And, okay, here you find the biggest mammals on earth. What are the biggest mammals? Giraffes, elephants, hippos, zebras, lions, right? All of those animals live here in the grassland. And
tigers are mammals.
Huh?
Tigers are mammals.
Yes, they are, honey. All of them are.
Miss Abrego,
Tell me.
the elephant it is not the biggest mammal. It is the whale.
It is the whale.
Yes, but the whale is on the marine.
That's why I said there you can find one of the biggest mammals.
Yes.
Here you can also find the ostrich. Look, you find the ostrich. You find deer. You find, what else? You find zebras. You find ox. You find gazelles. All types of animals live here in the grassland and in the savanna. Also, you find a variety of birds, right?
Yes.
And
I would like to take a picture there, miss. There, in that, how do you say cataratas?
in the waterfall.
In that waterfalls.
Those are beautiful, right? Here in Honduras, we have one. They're called Pulapanzac.
Las cataratas del paraíso.
Well, I have never been there, but the one that I know is Pulapanzac, and it's a very beautiful place.
Very nice, Pulapanzac.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
What a name we put to that?
Yeah, I think it's a native American name, but I don't know what does it mean. But it's a native.
I want to look for it in Google.
Okay, so here we have the tropical rainforest. What is the characteristic of tropical rainforest? That they are always what?
Rain and green.
Okay, there are a lot of rain and trees, and they are always humid. That means that they are never dry. They're always humid, and there is...
means...
What is that meaning? Cosas?
Agua blanca.
Means?
White water.
White water. That means that the water is crystalline there. Nice. Thank you for the information. Okay, so also in the rainforest, guys, we have teeming varieties and species of animals, right? We have frogs, we have snakes, we have parrots. We have a lot of animals that live here in the tropical rainforest. And remember that it says in the video that some of the animals that live in the canopy, that means in the highest part of the rainforest, never get to touch the floor, right? Because it is very, very, very tall. The trees are very tall and they never get to reach the floor. Now, what are the animals that live on the rainforest? The biggest animals, here we have a sloth. This is called sloth. Mm-hmm.
And the oso perezoso.
Yes, and we have the anteaters, right?
Yes.
What other animals we have? We find different species of animals that live here in the forest, okay? Now, the final type of biome that we will look at is what? The hottest and driest of all, which is the
Desert.
Desert.
Let's remember that here, what are the desert suffers of extreme temperatures. It is very hot in the day and extremely cold at night. Now, why do the plants in the desert have thorns? Can someone tell me? Why do they have thorns?
What is that?
Spikes, thorns, the ones that are able to be seen here. Look,
Yes. I have no
why do you think that they have thorns? The plants there.
To protect
For yes, to
or to
protect.
store water.
Yes, because let's
For
remember,
me, it's to
guys,
protect for people that want to kill that plant.
and not only people, Posas, actually animals. If you see this eagle over here, okay, they have thorns in order to protect themselves from being eaten by other animals. Now, cactuses are the animals that thrive in the desert. Why? Because they are able to retain water and they are able to resist without water for a long time. Okay, they are able to survive in the desert climate. Now, what animals can we find in the desert areas? What do we find? Eagles, we find snakes, we find camels, right? We find lizards and sometimes rabbits, guys. Rabbits.
Rabbit.
But they are called hares. They are not they're called rabbits. They're called hares, the ones that live in the desert.
Miss, what is the difference between bunnies and rabbits? Are they the same?
Yes, they are the same. Sometimes they are even called bunny rabbits. So the two of them. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And the hares also inhabit the desert. Okay, so these are all of them.
Desert, there are road runners.
Mm-hmm. The road runners are typical of the desert. The lizards are the one that we are here.
I saw that, Miss, and I remember the yellow lizard of House.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of that right now, of the yellow spot.
Miss, I want to
lizards,
see
right?
a complete movie.
Mm-hmm. You're with the curiosity.
Yes.
Yes, I'm with the curiosity of Zero learning how to read and all that.
I want to see if he learned or if they survive.
Yes, I want to see the
They
part where
die.
they are in the big town.
Okay.
Yes.
See if we're able to see the one for the ecosystems before the time goes off. Okay, impact on biodiversity. It was this one.
The year is 2100. Human population has reached 10 billion. As temperature rises and ice caps continue to melt, rising sea levels have caused huge swaths of land to be permanently underwater. Major cities such as London, New York and Mumbai no longer exist. Millions of people have had to leave their homes, city population have risen, and stepping outside means breathing in extremely polluted air and endangering your life. Once fertile farmland has become unworkable, the soil turns into dust. The number of people not getting enough food increases, rivers and seas are polluted, the provision of clean water an ever-increasing problem. This sounds like the plot of a dystopian novel, but it could end up being real. Since the Industrial Revolution in the late 19th century, the human population has exploded and is now growing at an exponential rate with no signs of slowing down. More people demand more resources and create more pollution, an ever-increasing impact on Earth. Humans cause pollution by burning fossil fuels. We are reliant on them for transport and electricity generation. Burning fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which is a greenhouse gas. Increased greenhouse gases cause an increase in average global temperatures, known as the greenhouse effect. This is linked to climate change. Some areas of the world are getting wetter and others hotter and drier, and these changes have an impact on ecosystems and biodiversity. If you want to learn more about biodiversity and why it matters, watch this video. For example, warmer weather in the Arctic and the subsequent melting of the sea ice has an effect on animals that live in there. The polar bear is no longer well adapted for living in its habitat and is an endangered species. Humans also require resources. Large areas of forest are cleared to make more room for agriculture or to mine minerals or for growing other resources like palm oil. The removal of trees is called deforestation and has an enormous impact on not only the local ecosystem, but the entire planet. Ancient forests, such as rainforests, are unique ecosystems. They can support a high biodiversity and are home to species that can only live in that habitat. For example, in Borneo, rainforests are being cut down to make room for palm oil plantations. The species that live in the rainforests cannot survive in the plantations. They may not be able to find food or shelter, like orangutans, who are an endangered species. You can find out more about endangered species and how conservation is helping them by watching this video. Forests provide services to the planet. They are important in the water cycle, recycling fresh water across the globe. Trees are also able to take in and store carbon dioxide, which helps regulate the Earth's temperature. As well as burning fossil fuels and deforestation, humans also create lots of waste. Sewage, pesticides and fertilizers enter the water. They may contain toxic substances that can kill organisms and impact on whole food webs. Pesticides can accumulate in the tissues of organisms and stay in the environment for many years before being broken down. A combination of a growing population and a throwaway culture, we also have increasing demands for dirty, wasteful landfill. But let's end on a happier note. There is some hope. People are coming to realise the impact we are having on the environment, and governments are aiming to cut down their reliance on fossil fuels and putting schemes into place to help protect forests and endangered species. So, in this video, you have learnt about how human activity has a negative impact on the Earth because of burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and creating waste.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.
Three important things of how human impact the Earth. Unfortunately, if we see God created, guys, everything to be perfect. If you see, the forests are here in order to what? To provide for the water cycle, right? And the climate maintains because of all of these forests. What happens with the humans? Unfortunately, we came here to destroy, right? And what are the three things that we provoke? We provoke deforestation, we provoke pollution, we provoke the burning of fossil fuels that causes carbon dioxide to go into the environment, right? So why is pollution so dangerous? Because it goes into the sources of water, guys. It goes into the ocean, it goes into the rivers, and what happens? The animals die, right? And the animals that do not die are contaminated, unfortunately, right? And the same thing happens with fossil fuels, the ones that are burned, right? What happens? It produces a climate change. I don't know if you have heard your parents say that here in Tegucigalpa, the climate was fresh, right? That it was colder and that it was much more enjoyable, right? But unfortunately, humans have contributed to change the climate. Do we have
less than a minute?
Yes.
No.
Do you have a doubt before we go?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
Because of the rain, it was very fresh yesterday.
Yes, the rain helps to cool the environment. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we only have one class. Bye, guys. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, Miss.
My house is raining.
Me too. Bye.
My cousin is trapeando.